Welcome back to Learning with Little Tweet. It is still Tuesday, April 28th, and we're working on day 20 lessons. Are you ready for some science? I hope so. I'm actually really excited about science today, but before we jump into our science lesson, let's just review a little bit about what we've learned. So remember, in science, we're learning about different kinds of animals, okay? So the first kind of animal that we learned about is mammals. And I want you to take just a minute to think about 3 different kinds of mammals. I just gave you a clue for one. So when you have 3 mammals, 3 different kinds of mammals in your head, put your finger on your nose. Not in your nose, people. On your nose. Got it? Okay, so elephants, even though they don't look like they have fur on them, they do have some hair all over their bodies. So elephants are mammals. Bunnies are mammals. Little Ruffy, all dogs are mammals. Cats are mammals. There's lots and lots and lots of mammals. People are mammals. Remember, mammals have some sort of hair or fur. Mammals are warm-blooded. Mammals are viviparous. Mammals have a spine. And I keep forgetting the other mammal facts, but that's what I've got in my head for right now. So mammals. We also learned about birds. We learned that birds are oviparous. They have a beak. They have wings. Most of them can fly, but not all of them. They have feathers. So little tweet is a bird. Other kinds of birds are like hawks, flamingos, penguins, eagles, tons of different kinds of birds. We also learned about reptiles. So reptiles are an interesting kind of creature. So reptiles are also oviparous. They are cold-blooded. They have their bellies kind of close to the ground, and they don't have any hair or fur on them at all. So a turtle is an example of a reptile, an alligator, a snake, lizards, those are all examples of reptiles. We also yesterday started learning about another kind of animal, fish. And you guys, some of you probably are like, Miss Hill, a shark is not a fish. Yes, it is. So we learned that fish have special characteristics too. They spend their whole life under the water, okay? They can only breathe under the water. They have fins and they have gills. That's what they use to breathe. They have tails and they have scales. So I think that those are all facts about fish. You all, I'm not a fish expert, so I'm not even a reptile expert or anything. I'm learning all this too. But sharks do have all of those things. So sharks are a kind of fish. Now the interesting thing, guys, I'm about to make it real tricky for you. Fish are generally oviparous. They lay eggs and hatch out of eggs. Sharks can be oviparous or viviparous. It's so crazy. Some sharks lay eggs. Some sharks are born from their moms. It's a little crazy. So we are going to learn a little bit more about fish today. And I decided that since I know a lot of you are interested in sharks, we're going to learn a little bit more specifically about sharks. So let's watch this video.
When you think of a shark, what do you picture in your mind? Do you think of a big fin sticking out of the water? Or maybe a huge set of sharp teeth? Sharks are some of the most famous animals in the ocean. But do you know what makes a shark a shark? Well, for one thing, all sharks are fish. That might not surprise you since they live and swim in the water, but sharks are a special kind of fish. One of the things that makes them different from other fish, like goldfish, is that sharks have a special skeleton. Our skeletons are made of bone, and so are the skeletons of most kinds of fish. But a shark's skeleton isn't made of bone. It's made of cartilage. And you have cartilage in your body too. You can feel it right now. Touch the tip of your nose. Wiggle it around. How's it feel? What about your ear? Can you bend it? You sure can, because the tip of your nose and your ear aren't filled with bone. They're filled with cartilage. Cartilage is a lot lighter than bone, and it bends easily. So having a skeleton made of this stuff helps sharks swim farther and faster than if their skeletons were made of bone. Now let's look at another body part that sharks are famous for: their teeth. Have you ever lost a baby tooth and then an adult tooth grew in? Well, sharks lose their teeth all the time throughout their entire lives, and they just keep growing new ones. How can they do that? You and I just have one row of teeth in our mouths, but sharks have lots of rows of teeth on the top and the bottom. So when a shark loses a tooth, another tooth that's right behind it can just move on up to take its place. Because they always have new teeth to replace the old ones, some sharks can lose thousands of teeth during their lives. All right, the next cool thing about sharks: their skin. If you could rub the skin of a shark, you'd find that it would feel smooth if you ran your hand in one direction. But if you rubbed your hand the other way, it would feel rough, like a cat's tongue. That's because a shark's skin is covered in tough bony scales that actually look a little like tiny teeth. These little scales are stacked on top of each other like tiles on a roof. This helps sharks swim through the water quickly and quietly. So those are some of the things that all sharks have. But there are over 450 types of sharks in the world, and that means a lot of differences too. Take a look at this one. It's called a whale shark, and it's the biggest shark there is. In fact, it's the largest fish in the whole world. Whale sharks can grow to be as long as a school bus, but even though they're so big, they eat tiny plants and super small animals called plankton that float in the water. But not all sharks are as big as the whale shark. Some can also be tiny. Meet the dwarf lantern shark. It's so small that it could fit in my hand. This shark lives in the deep ocean where there's very little light, so it has big eyes to help see in the dark. Plus, it has a really neat feature. It has special organs on its belly, fins, and tail that actually glow. Scientists think this might help the lantern shark lure in prey for it to eat. Plus, when it's in shallower water where there's more light, these glowing lights can help it blend in to avoid predators. Finally, I'd like you to meet a very special shark. Say hello to the Greenland shark. This big shark spends most of its time swimming in very cold water, hanging out near the sea floor, looking for an easy snack. But scientists have recently discovered something amazing about these animals. Greenland sharks can live to be up to 400 years old. Of all the animals in the world with backbones known as vertebrates, Greenland sharks live the longest, at least that we know of. But scientists are still discovering new kinds of sharks all the time. So who knows what kinds of super sharks are still out there waiting to be found. What's your favorite animal? Do you want to learn more about it?
All right, so hopefully that helped you to learn a little bit more about sharks and why sharks are considered fish. So here is our assignment. Let's take a look. It says there are all kinds of fish. Use a T-chart to write 2 ways a shark and a goldfish are alike and 2 ways they are different. So I went ahead and pulled up some pictures here of a goldfish and a shark. And you're going to use your blank piece of paper. We've done this before. I just drew a line down the middle and then put S for same and D for different. So you're going to think about what is the same between a goldfish and a shark. What do they have in common? So you're supposed to write 2 things here. And you guys don't have to write complete sentences. You could just write a list. Like I might write gills, or lives in the water, okay? Or fins. I just gave you 3 things, guys. See if you can think of some on your own, but you can use those too. Okay, so you're writing 2 things that are the same between the fish and the shark, or the goldfish and the shark. And then over here, you're going to write 2 things that are different. So think about some of the things that are different in terms of how they look, maybe think about where they live. Think about maybe their behavior and what they like to eat. Okay. So you are going to write 2 things that are different here. Now you're going to go ahead and do this on your own. You may pause the video, but I was thinking that you could pause the video on these pictures just so you can look at them while you're working. So go ahead and pause the video and do your chart about goldfish and sharks. All right, guys, awesome job. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed learning with little Tweet. Don't forget to keep all your papers so you can take pictures of them, send them to your teacher, or give them to your teacher, hopefully in person sometime. If you are in my class, if your family feels like you worked really hard and showed your best effort, don't forget to glue on one of your little tweets on your chart, okay? You guys keep working hard and growing your brains and glue on those little tweets if your family thinks that you focused and were cooperative and really did your best work, okay? You're trying to get all 5 little tweets, and then you all can pick some sort of special reward at the end of the week. If you're not in my class, you could do something similar. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow for some more learning. Bye.